Okay, welcome to a demo on how to use Snapchat for social NN. If you have never used Snapchat before, it's probably a good time to start figuring out how to use it. It's really not too bad. It's available for iOS and Android. If you do not have a smartphone, you may need to borrow one from a friend for the period of time that you're working on Snapchat for social NN. So here's the app itself. You launch it. This is the main screen once you're logged in. If you're not logged in, the credentials are on Canvas for you to find out what the login and password are. If you're logged into your own account, in order to log into Social NN, you're going to have to click on the little ghost at the top. And when you do that, you'll see this screen here. You click on the little spindly thing at the top right, which goes to your settings, and then scroll down and you'll see log out. You can log out of your own account and log in to Social NN. Of course, you're going to want to remember to log back out of Social NN at some point so that you're not sending your friendly snaps to our Social NN account. So just be careful with that. Snapchat only allows one person to be logged into an account at a time. And so you do need to make sure that you log out at the end of every shift so that somebody else can pick it up. This is crucially important. So make sure you do that. Okay, so going back to the home screen here, you're just going to see the recording studio where I'm making this recording, so it's not very exciting. However, just here's a couple quick basics on how to use Snapchat. You can take a photo just like you take a photo with your camera on your phone, or you can press that circle button there and it takes a still photo. Once you do that, you can do several things. One is you can click on the timer at the bottom and change how long a photo is displayed. I recommend doing at least 6 seconds for a news clip photo so people have a chance to actually see what you posted. The default is like 3 seconds, and that's not long enough for this. You also can add text by clicking on the little T up there, and you could type something and see how bad my typing skills are here. Interesting, like that. And you can move that around with your finger to a different spot on the app itself, so it gets out of the way of whatever you're trying to show off. You can click on the T again to make it bigger, or change the way it's presented. So there's a couple options there. If you click on the little pencil next to the T, you get some colors and you can say things on there. And there's definitely some clever ways that I've seen people use Snapchat with that. You can also swipe left or right once you're off the pencil to come up with some of the little stickers or logos or whatever you want to call them that Snapchat's put on here. It goes based on your location, so it knows I'm in Austin, it knows I'm at UT, it knows I'm doing possibly a campus story, which I do suggest you submit them to the campus story so we can get some extra oomph out of these. You could do the time or the temperature or how fast you're going. Right now I'm really moving. And you can put some filters on there, which I don't really recommend filters. But, these little things are kind of cool. So if you were riding on the campus bus or something like that, you might want to put the miles per hour or something. I don't know. Or if it's 110 degrees, you might want to put the temperature on there just to show how hot it really is. Once you have it the way you want it, you click on the arrow that's kind of shining down there on the bottom right, and you can add it to your story. And so that's what you would click right there. And you hit bottom right, add to my story. And you see that it made the story for you basically right here. So I have several different little clips now, just two little clips. Two people have seen this one clip. You can click on the little eyeball to see who's seen them. This obviously is just a test, so I'm going to delete that. And there we go, so that people don't think I'm weird. On the taking requests one, it's just I did a kind of a funny little snap about sitting here in the CMA's audio mixing room, acting like I'm a DJ. I'm hilarious. And then you can press on that little thing next to the X that deletes it to actually download that screenshot to your camera roll, which will be important because that's how you'll be able to get your best of snaps into Storify for this class to show off what you've done. It'll also capture video that way. If you're adventurous, you could upload that video to YouTube and then embed the YouTube into your Storify as well. Not required, but it might be a cool thing to do. As you'll see, as we get going on social NN, at the start anyway, there may not be that many news organizations that we follow, but as we're going, there should be some in this recent updates area. So you want to go through that and try to find one. Here's MTV. Let's see what they're posting. You just hold down on it to see what they have. I don't know who Max is because I'm 41 years old. But as you click on these, you get to see basically what MTV is sharing. Also have the Dallas Cowboys on here. Let's see what they did. So there's a player warming up for some kind of baseball thing, even though it's a Dallas Cowboys player. They're doing some kind of fun thing during the off season. So as you can see, they're telling a little story with each one of these little clips. And that's what I want you to do for Social NN as well, is try to think of what kind of story arc could you give. Of course, this means you're going to have to get out of the apartment. You're going to have to go out there and try to find some kind of story to do. I think one obvious thing you could always do is just figure out what's going on in the news right now. Of course, you'll know that because you're working these Social NN shifts, and go out and ask people on the street, what they think about the news, and just record them with their answers or something like that. I think that's one way you could come up with a pretty quick story for your 1 hour or 2 hours that you're working, and make it work okay. As you can see, there's also The Verge on here. They do a lot of kind of inside stuff, like what's going on in their actual office, which is sometimes interesting and sometimes not very interesting, but it does give a little kind of look at what's going on there. Taco Bell actually has a pretty good Snapchat account. I think they have a lot of fun, so that's a good one to look at. NPR News is probably the most boring of the news Snapchats that I follow. They just do this. Somebody just sitting there talking about the news in their newsroom, and it's kind of not very imaginative. Washington Post and New York Times actually get out there and do video snaps, like on the campaign trail for the presidential elections, that kind of thing. So I think that's more interesting, and I urge you to do that. But if this is the minimum you can do, this is okay. So if you want to just tell a little bit about the news based on you as your individual reporter sitting in your home, go ahead and have at that. I just wouldn't do that too much. Let's see what Taco Bell has. So do you like to take photos? Yes. See, what I like about them is they actually have some fun with this. And, considering this is a class that's made for college students, from college students, why not have some fun? So you can see they use some drawings and emoticons to have some fun with it. They're showing off their interns. Oops, there's a thunderstorm warning. Watch out, everybody. So I would say, follow this model more than the NPR model. Have some fun with it. See what you can do. Oh, look, it's like the Inception version because I'm pointing it at my screen. That's kind of crazy. Also, you should encourage people to try to snap at us. And so think of interaction. Think of a way that you could use Snapchat's ability to reply to people to be a way to gather some actual interaction with our followers. And so don't be afraid to say, hey, snap at us with what you're doing on this incredibly hot day, or snap at us what you're doing on the first day of school, or whatever it may be. Try to think of something that you could do, and then you could always pull those snaps off of Snapchat with screenshots and put them together into a little Flickr album and share them on our Twitter account. So have some fun with this and be adventurous and find out what you could do. I'm not going to go through much more about what to do on Snapchat here because I think that you need to just explore through it, get a feel for it, and give it a shot. So good luck with that, but reach out to me if you have any questions at all.